I'm sorry, Dan Orlovsky. I'm sorry. I apologize. If I hurt your feelings, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Dan went on the Twitter streets and said this app, it can break you. It can break you. I understand. The app is not for the weak of heart. Let's just say that. The app is not for the weak of heart. Clearly, his feelings were hurt. But let me tell you something, Dano. The reason that I called you out and others called you out, I honestly think because people think you can do better. We actually expect more from you than some others. You should take that as a compliment. If Stephen A. Smith said that, or Skip Bayless, or Kendrick Perkins, or Shady McCoy, most people would just ignore it. But people expect better from you. I do not know Dan O personally. I do know a lot of people that know Dan O personally. And they tell me Dan O's a solid guy, would give you the shirt off his back, wants everybody to succeed, is a great teammate at ESPN, good family man. So what I think Dan has, and you don't mind if I take you to school today, what Dan has is what's called inherent bias. Now, everybody has this in some shape, form, or fashion. Now, I'm going to read you the definition of inherent bias. And understand that all of us have this in some shape, form, or fashion. Inherent bias refers to a deeply ingrained, often unconscious tendencies or assumptions that skew our perceptions and judgments stemming from personal experience, culture, or the brain's natural shortcut taking, leading to automatic associations that can contradict our conscious beliefs and affect decisions in areas like hiring or healthcare. It's a fundamental aspect of human condition where our brains form patterns and associations and create implicit unconscious biases that influence our behavior without our full awareness. It's different than explicit bias. I'll get back to that in a second. The short version of that, the non-medical version of that is we like somebody, so we tend to skew our opinions towards them. It's as simple as that. We like somebody, we tend to skew our opinions toward them. It's as simple as that. We all have it to some degree. The difference is, are you unconscious of it or you conscious of it? So if you're conscious of it, then you can work around it, right? You can work around it if you're conscious of it. You can either work around it or you can lean into it. Depends on what type of person you are. Now, clearly, Dan Orlovsky is in love with Josh Allen. That's understandable, okay? He has a crush on him. He's in love with Josh Allen. Now, when you're in love with somebody and you see them failing, you oftentimes want to pass the blame to somebody else. And that's what he did. He did not tweet the entire time that the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos was playing until it was a controversial play involved. He was waiting, consciously or unconsciously, for Josh Allen to make a play to win the game and then for him to come out there and say, Josh Allen is the greatest thing since sliced bread. consciously or unconsciously. He has an inherent bias for him. Now, here's the thing, though. When you have inherent bias for one, but not for another, then the contradictions come up. So he probably feels no way towards CJ Stroud. Probably doesn't have any favoritism or negative things. He just sees CJ Stroud as a quarterback. So then his real feelings come out as a quarterback, right? But then people see that and say, wait a minute. You said this about this guy, but you didn't say anything about this guy. Then it doesn't start calling you out on it. Say, hey, Dan, this makes no sense what you're saying right here. Why didn't you say this about this guy? Here's a contradiction right here. This makes no sense, Dan. When I tell you one that was unconscious that Dan said, that I'm sure he doesn't even realize. He's on TV. Josh Allen has one of the worst fumbles in a playoff game you ever see. He wasn't hit. It wasn't a rush. It wasn't a sack. He just was running and he fumbled the ball backwards. And Dan O was like, man, the offensive lineman should have got on that ball. It's the offensive lineman's fault that he didn't recover the fumble. See, that's unconscious. His unconscious brain says, I'm in love with Josh Allen. I have to make an excuse for him. The worst thing that ever happened to Dan Orlovsky was going on First Take. Actually, I say it's the worst and best thing that ever happened to Dan Orlovsky. See, back in the day, at least when Dan first was on ESPN, I remember when him, and I think they still do it from time to time, him and Ryan Clark run up to the board, I guess at Sports Center or whatever, and tell you the coverages and why this happened. It was so good. It was so good. Offense, defense. You know, I wanted to, I said, man, this is good. This is good stuff. And then he went on First Take. And that was the worst, best thing that could ever happen to him. Because First Take can make you into a star outside of that little bubble, right? It will make people pay more attention to the things you say, what you do, your quote unquote takes. It can make you a TV star. Stephen A. Smith is not lying about that. He has taken individuals that were normally seen as maybe beat reporters, writers, people that you wouldn't actually consider TV people, and he's made them into TV personalities. So when they go to the negotiating table, they're bigger stars. They can ask for more money. Stephen A. Smith is not lying about that. But there's a cost to it. Because if you want to stand out on First Take, if you want ESPN to put your quotes on social, at times you have to say some stupid ass stuff. And I'll give you an example. And this wasn't on First Take, but this is what I mean. Dan O said 31 teams 31 quarterbacks could have beat the Patriots last weekend. The Chargers defense actually played better than the Texas defense. So is one of those 31 quarterbacks Justin Herbert? CJ Stroud didn't have any turnovers in the second half. They still lost the game. It's you, but here's the thing. That quote, that ridiculous quote that A, is just false. B, doesn't give any credit to the Patriots defense at all. 3, that makes the Patriots seem like they're a terrible team that just got lucky and won. They pasted it all over social. They pasted it all over social media. It was on Instagram. It was on Twitter. It's on the YouTube page. One of the most asinine quotes that you can ever see was promoted all over the internet. And you know why? Because it gets engagement. Because it's engagement. Because they know that it's a dumbass quote, but they also know how people are going to react to those dumbass quotes. You understand what I'm saying? It's the worst and best thing that ever happened to him. Now, if he was someone that didn't care, he said, what do I care for? I'm getting paid. I understand the money aspect. Don't he got like 4 kids? I get it. The mortgage doesn't care where your takes come from. The mortgage doesn't care where your takes come from. But he cares because he knows that it's bullshit. He knows what he's doing. He knows that I got to say something. I got to say something interesting because that is how I'm going to get the engagement. That's how they're going to put me on all their socials. That's how I'm going to make more money on my next contract. See, he's not thinking like, oh, I'm just a guy that's going to tell you about the X and O's. He's thinking like a sports personality. He's thinking like a sports personality. He's thinking about somebody that want to be famous, who want to make money, who want people to know of him. But here's the thing. If you do that, you got to have thick skin. You got to have thick skin. You can't be soft. You can't be soft in this hot take game. You simply cannot be soft in this hot take game. If you want to be a hot taker, you got to know what comes with that. Stephen A. Smith makes $40 million a year. He knows what comes with that. He knows. So when Stephen A. is very strategic. If you notice, Stephen A. has a pattern, right? It is one of the smartest patterns that I see out there. He says something that he knows is going to infuriate somebody, right? Then he waits for that person to react to what he said. And then he does another show and says, man, I don't understand why this person is so upset. It's a 3-pronged system. You get the money from talking about the person. You wait for the person to talk about you. Then you get more money saying, I don't understand what they're talking about. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a scam, but it's a beautiful scam. See, I don't know if Dan O has the internal fortitude to be a hot taker. See, some people don't care as long as the bag comes. You got the bag. Everybody's talking about you today. If you put your name in Google, they ain't talking about you. And that's what comes with it. You have to make a choice. And we all have at some point in media. You make a point if you want to get paid or you just want to be broke. Because ESPN, what they fired all the people that just talked regular. All those people are gone. Those people are laid off and gone. When Molly was like, listen, I think I deserve more money and I would like a bigger, saying things. And like, no, nah, go about your business. You're replaceable. There's 1,000 Dan Orlovskys out there. They can go hire Chase Daniels tomorrow and replace Dan Orlovsky. He do the exact same thing. Chase Daniels get up there and say, if you just ignore all of the turnovers, what? Let's just ignore all of the turnovers and talk about this. Yeah, they got plenty of Dan Orlovskys on deck. You know how many ex-backup quarterbacks are out there that can tell you about a zone blitz? You're not special. You just in your spot. And if you want to stay in your spot, you got to go keep those hot takes coming. You got to go keep those hot takes coming. But you can't be sensitive about it. You can't be sensitive. You can't play the victim. Okay. You can't play the victim. And listen, Dano, this is very important. Look at the people that are backing you up. Outkick. That what you want? That what you want to align yourself with? Nobody, to my vision at least, is talking about the man as a person. We just say you used to be better. You used to be better at what you do. You sold your soul for the hot take. And you didn't used to do that. People are pointing it out. You sold your soul for the hot take. And I'm not even hating on you about it. I understand. I get it. I sympathize with you. Like I said, the mortgage don't care where the money comes from. It could be drug money for all they care as long as the bank get it. I understand you got to make sacrifices in this business. And people are going to call you out on it. You know how many times back in the day they called it bullshit online, gossip online, all this type of stuff, gossip online, all this stuff, where's the white sports online? You understand how many times I had to hear that? But when they were saying it, they was clicking the link though. You understand what I'm saying? It's so funny to me that the media just last week was like, we have to be unbiased. We have to be professional. That is inappropriate. That's my TV voice. Get a little deeper. You cannot be inappropriate. You have to be professional. You cannot cheer in the press box. You cannot show favoritism. You cannot have any empathy for the players or the coaches. And then this week, everybody's like, I feel so sorry for Josh Allen. Oh, you got to feel for Josh Allen. Oh, look at Josh Allen crying. Oh, I wish he wins the Super Bowl. Oh, I feel so bad for Josh Allen. Why did this lineman jump on this fumble? Oh, my God. Oh, whoa, Josh Allen. But last week, Black woman said, hey, keep your head up. We appreciate the season that you had. 20 seconds, and you'd have thought they lost their goddamn mind. It shows you the hypocrisy of media, the hypocrisy of sports media. And somebody said, well, Rob, you do the same thing. You do the same thing. With Shedeur Sanders and CJ Stroud and Lamar Jackson, you just doing the same thing. That's what's called explicit bias. That's what's called explicit bias. Conscious attitudes or beliefs that a person openly holds and endorses. See, I explained to you why I have certain biases, but let me tell you the difference. You can agree with it or you can disagree with it. Don't really care, to be perfectly honest with you. When I have biases, the reason I have the bias is because I am trying to stop a stereotype. When other people have biases, they're trying to perpetuate a stereotype. That's Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson in a nutshell. Right? That's Arch Manning and Shedeur Sanders in a nutshell. Right? Josh Allen is what they want a Super Bowl quarterback to be. Lamar Jackson is not. And so their inherent bias pits them against each other, even though they're both great. Neither one of them has won shit. I have an explicit bias because I want Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl to buck against the narrative. I see Arch Manning getting glazed. I see Shedeur Sanders falling. They both have famous fathers. Only one of the fathers made sure his son forced his team out of playing with an organization. But I see how they report it differently. See, I have an implicit bias. I want Shedeur Sanders to succeed, to buck the narrative. That's why. I don't hide it. There's no hiding from it. I like CJ Stroud. I'm from where he's from, but I live where he lived at. I know his story. I know his mom and his sister. I know what type of person he is. So I want him to succeed. That's an explicit bias. I'm not trying to lie to you about it. I can sit there and say, well, yeah, man, they probably should have mentioned him. But I'm also going to tell you why, the reasons that I think I want him to still succeed. And I hope he does. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. I want him to, though. See, that's the difference. Not trying to hide who I am from you, who I like from you, who I don't like from you. When you have an explicit bias, it's easier for you to be honest about what you're seeing because you're not trying to hide something from somebody. You're not trying to be two different people. You can't be the hot taker and trying to be the analyst and trying to be the friend all at the same time. You have to be able to let people know where you stand. Come out and say, I love Josh Allen. If you say that, then all right then. I mean, if I was in love with somebody, I'd say the same things. But to hear a panel, and this has nothing to do with Dan Orlovsky, to sit there when a guy has had 4 turnovers, essentially got his coach fired, and to see 4 guys go up there and say Josh Allen's the best quarterback I've ever seen in the world when Tom Brady is still alive. Patrick Mahomes was just in the Super Bowl last year. Joe Montana, John Elway, Dan Marino, Welfare Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, all these people, Ben Roethlisberger, all these people still exist. And Josh Allen, who hasn't won anything, is the greatest quarterback you've ever seen in your life. A guy that couldn't throw the ball 30 yards down the field for a game-winning touchdown? What's happening here? Of course people are going to push back on that. Of course they're going to push back on that. I'm sorry, Dan Orlovsky, if I hurt your feelings. It's okay. You tough. You making big money. You still on TV. Your job is not in jeopardy. ESPN loves the stuff that you're doing. What does it matter what we have to say? Unless you know deep down that we're right. Just saying. Just saying. Trying to help you. Trying to help you. A couple of other things before we get out of here. Indiana wins the national championship with a bunch of 30-year-old guys. I think if you are I think college football is going to be different for the next 10, 20 years. You know, I think you're going to see some Texas Techs and some teams that, some SMUs or some of them teams that would never have a shot, under the old system. They're going to have a shot now. They get the right coach. They get the right transfers. You get that right old quarterback. I think you're going to see some different. And that's fine. I like it. I like the fact that everybody has a shot. Makes things more, interesting because, 5 years ago, Ohio State wouldn't have lost 2 of the backup wide receivers, 2 of the backup corners, the D-line. They wouldn't have lost all those guys to the transfer portal. They just be overwhelmingly stacked. Sometimes part of winning is having too much talent because the talent is not spread around. You see what I'm saying? So if you got an 85, 90-man roster, I mean, only 22 people can start. You maybe 40 on the rotation, and you can hoard 40 other 4 or 5-star. There's no other talent out there for the other. That's the difference now. Now this talent can be they're spread out more evenly. So your coaching, your recruiting, how you do the transfer portal is really gonna determine, if you're gonna be in the mix or not. And we'll see how that is, how much money you got. But some of these smaller schools, they got a little cash. They got a little cash. The referee, and I know people talk about the refs and all of that stuff with the games. We talk about it every year and nothing changes, so I don't really know why we should continue to argue about it. Not much changes, really, with the refereeing, and it seems like there's a blown call or a controversial call every single game. So, and then we come back the next week like little mice. We come right back the next week. We're coming back with the next week. So, I wouldn't even complain about that. But congratulations to Indiana for doing that. My guy Don Julio said, "Yeah, speaking facts, brother. Thanks for pointing this out. Yeah. Listen, I don't want nobody's feelings to be hurt. I don't want nobody going home crying to their wife or anything. And it can be a cruel app. And there are times where you just got to walk away. He tried to tweet through it to show some breakdowns and stuff, but it's too late. Just walk away. We'll move on to something else. Somebody else is there. We get Romo is up next, probably. We'll move on to something else. It's not that serious, to be honest with you. It's really not. It's not that serious, man. You're getting paid. Your family likes you, I assume. Your friends like you. Your boss like you. I mean, who cares what we think? You know what I'm saying? What does it matter? It doesn't matter what we think. People, your wife still, likes you. Hey, you fine then. What the hell? What you worried about? What? I know it's hard. It's human nature. No matter if it's a person with no profile picture and a bunch of numbers behind their name, and you don't know who they are. It could be a bot. They could be from Russia, and they say "F you, dumbass." Blah, blah, blah. Human nature, God, dog, why you gotta be like that? Hurts my feelings. I understand it's human nature, but you gotta just shake that shit off. It's like these are not real people. You're in a circle. That's all that matters. Inner circles is like you're doing fine or whatever. Cool. But sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and wonder to yourself, am I doing fine? Am I doing the right thing? Could I be better? Maybe there's something to what, if you parse through it, maybe there's something to what all these people are saying. It's just like the journalist from last week. Think about it. Last week, we tried to tell the media, you're wrong. You're wrong. I mean, and it wasn't like a 50-50 like everybody else and 1% media. Like, you're wrong. And some of the media people, to their credit, was like, I took a step back, looked in the mirror, like, goddamn, I am doing exactly what they said they was doing. Others, whatever. Others just stood, whatever. But see, the people that do that, they don't care. All they want is Elon's money. They don't care how they get it. They don't care what they say to get it. I mean, I don't know if Dan O is on the partner, the content thing, but probably made him $5,000-$10,000 yesterday. Can buy your wife some nice stuff with it. Get her a nice bag. So what you care about? What we gotta say. Do what you got to do, bro. Do what you got to do. I'm just talking. I'm just giving my opinion like you give yours. All right, I'm out. What's today? Tuesday? All right, I'm out. Got some things to do. Got to hit these streets. Appreciate you guys listening.